Hello, and welcome to a gregarious episode of the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast. I am your glorious host, Davo. You like that? Glorious? I won last time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With me, as always, in the Sensei Neil Dojo Tournament of Pain ouchiness, trivia style, is my giggle-filled co-host, Kels.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm on board with ouchiness
You don't like ouchiness?
at all.
Oh.
Not even
Well, we'll
bit.
edit that out.
Oh.
We can
We'll
fix
just
that in
pretend-
post.
Yeah, we
fix it in
fixed it in
post.
post. Yeah.
We'll pretend like that never happened. We also have our gregarious co-host, Andy.
Hello. Is it me you're looking for?
Oh, my God.
Unless you just have a mustache and a jerry curl, I don't need you to do that again.
I haven't had the Jerry curl in 30 years. It's been a while. Back when I fronted Shamalar.
Oh, my
Oh, I
God.
love that band.
Shamalama.
Yeah.
How dare you? Shalamar.
And finally, we have with us the Sensei of Pain, the Trivia Tyrant, the knowledgeable knave of Neil.
Ran out
I
of
thought you were
gas.
doing. I thought you
I
were
felt
doing
like there was
G's.
something else coming up there.
Yeah.
Again, ran out of steam. I don't know. I can BS with the best of them, but those alliterations, I just run out of steam real fast.
Hi, everybody.
So, Sensei Neil, you have a couple of orange belts. You have a yellow belt. We are moving up the ranks. What is our challenge today?
Well, I decided to do something. I was going to do something pretty specific, and it turned out to be a little bit too specific. So then I went pretty broad. Today's theme is music. So
Oh, no.
I have six categories of 4 questions each. Each question is worth 10 points. There's a few bonus points in here. And I tried really hard to put questions in that didn't hit any of your roundhouses. So there's not a whole lot of soul and funk. There's not a whole lot of, well, there's not any Beatles. And
I thought you said it was about music. If you don't have soul or funk or Beatles, what's left?
That
Well, I
leaves
guess you
house.
Metallica.
I got a little symphonic in here. I've got a little punk. I've got a little comedy, a little bit of everything. So, what do you think the first category
I will
is, Davo?
Oh, no. Is it? Oh.
Not science and music. No, not science and music. Please
It's gonna
don't say
be
science and
science.
music. Don't say science
gonna
and
be
music.
It's not going to be social studies.
This is definitely not social studies, but it is science because music is a science. It's very mathematical.
You once again you've blinded me with science.
All
Yeah, I
right.
hope that's a question.
It is not. There's no Thomas Dolby on this quiz. Question 1 in science. A particular pitch is determined by what property of a sound wave?
I'm locked in.
Could you repeat it again?
A particular pitch is determined by what property of the sound wave?
I'm locked in as well.
I'm locked in.
Kels, what's your answer?
I guessed frequency.
Andy?
I guess vibration,
And Davo?
which is not a sound wave.
I went with something less sciencey and technical. I said the shape. You know, the wave makes a shape, and if it's like a triangle or the shape the shape the wave makes.
Okay.
Oh, it's the steepness of the slope, I'll bet.
Well, the correct answer is frequency. It's not necessarily a shape. It's how often the wave oscillates.
Oh, there you go.
So Kels got that one. Question 2. What is the unit of measure for frequency? What's the name of the
Locked in.
Oh, don't do this to me.
Unit of measure of frequency. Oh, I'm locked in.
Locked in.
Okay. Andy, what was your guess?
Hertz, as in OJ advertising for Hertz.
Beat me to it.
Davo
Hertz.
and Kels.
Hertz donuts.
Ah, nice one.
It is Hertz.
If I may, the only reason I know that the answer to that question, is because of a YouTube channel called Electro Boom, which is a very good YouTube channel about electronics, and he is very entertaining, and he shocks himself a lot, and it's really funny. But he has lessons on. It's very funny, but he has a bunch of lessons on all things electrical engineering wise. And thank you, Electro Boom, if you're listening.
Question 3. In a musical note, there are higher and quieter sounds mixed in with the main note. What are those sounds known as? So there's kind of a main tone, and then there's tones a little bit higher and a little bit lower that go along with it.
Ooh.
That's a great question.
It is no, it's a crap question because I can't answer it. Not a great question at all. This question sucks. Sucks bad.
You've all heard of the answer. You just may not know that that's exactly what it meant.
Repeat the question again.
In a musical note, there are higher and quieter sounds mixed in with the main note. What are those sounds known as?
All right, I'm going to write something down.
Sure. Locked in.
Sure, locked in.
Davo?
I'm pretty sure this isn't right, but I wrote down resonance.
Else?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Semitone.
Andy?
I went with the air conditioning unit at Abbey Road. You can hear it if you turn it up. The end of the album Abbey Road. You can. So I got background noise. I don't know. I got nothing on this one.
Those sounds are known as harmonics.
Oh, poop.
Oh.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And question 4. How many notes are there in the chromatic scale? Not the Cro-Magnon scale, the chromatic scale.
Did you know the Beatles couldn't read music? Just saying. Which explains why I know none of these answers.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in with a total guess.
I'm going to lock in.
I'm locked in.
Also locked in.
All right, Kels?
I guess 12.
Andy?
26.
And Davo?
7.
All right. Well, the correct answer is 12.
Oh.
Snap.
Pay attention a few times in music class, man.
Oh, boy.
Thank you, Miss Outlaw.
Okay, Neil, what are they?
They are A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, and G sharp.
See, I got 7 because I knew A through G, but I didn't know which ones were sharp.
All of them when they dress up.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know. I went for the cheese.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's plow forward into our next category, which is sports.
Can we get a score?
Oh, sorry. The scores right now: Kels 30, Andy and Davo are tied with 10.
That was not good.
Nope.
That's pretty good for Kels.
I mean, I did all right. You're not happy for me?
I'm so thrilled for you.
Oh, way to show it. Appreciate it.
I'm holding it in so I don't overwhelm you with my joy.
I'd hate for you to, tire yourself out. It's still early.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Hooray. Okay, there we go.
Wow.
All right. Category 2 is sports. Question 1. What is the punny musical name of the sports team of the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology?
What?
You did say mines, right?
Yes, mines, as in
Okay.
digging in the dirt.
All right.
Can I get the first part of that question again?
Yeah.
What is the punny musical name of the sports teams of the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology? They're a Division II school.
I'm locked in with something.
This might be a bad trivia question, but I really like their name. So
I've come up with a couple really good joke ones, but not one that relates to music.
I do too, but I want to hold on to it. So I feel like
You're
it might
reserving
show
your
up
joke
later.
answers?
Yes.
Oh my
Timing is
gosh.
everything. Grasshopper.
Oh, oh wow.
All right. I'm locked. If this is correct, I'm going to be blown away.
I'm locked in.
okay, Andy, blow me away.
Simple Minds?
Davo?
Well, they're the South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. So, and this relates to music, so I went with the Miners.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Oh, yeah, me too. That's a good answer. Good answer.
Nice.
Kels?
I wrote Dirty Computers.
They are the Hard Rockers.
That's great.
Nice.
That's great. I want a hat with their logo on it.
Yeah.
I bet it's awesome.
I grew up in Dixon, Illinois, and a town really close to us was Polo, Illinois. And their high school team was the Marcos, the Polo Marcos.
That's so good.
I thought that was pretty awesome.
That is fantastic.
What was Shermer's mascot?
All right, let me go over this one more time. Shermer is a fictional town in northern Illinois. I'm not from there because it's not real.
Sure.
You showed me your yearbook, and you were a proud member of the Ferris Marching Band.
Yeah. Legend has that you painted the water tower.
Yeah.
All right. Question 2 in sports. I think you'll all get this one. What is the musical name of the good guys team in Space Jam?
Locked in.
You know, fun fact. I've seen Space Jam once.
Yeah, me too.
Was it when it came out?
Basically, yes, and I didn't particularly like it.
Oh, well.
Oh, duh.
Probably helps if you were like 12 around that time. So
it would. It really would.
I got that on you. Yeah.
Yeah, you do have. Yes, I'm locked in as well.
Okay. Davo, what's your guess?
The Looney Tunes.
Andy?
I think they were just the tunes.
And Kels.
The Toon Squad.
Are the Toon Squad.
Oh my God.
So do I get points for that one?
For the what did you say? The tune?
I said the tunes.
I don't know. Their name was the Toon Squad.
I didn't realize. Yeah. All right. Rats.
If someone didn't do it exactly on the nose with the voice, you may have gotten
Yeah. How many times have you seen that movie, Kelvin?
How
many times?
A lot. I mean, we watched it at school. I have it on Blu-ray.
You haven't? I'm sorry. On the Blu-ray, is there like commentary from Bugs and everybody else?
I hadn't even.
I want to hear that commentary. You know, when we were shooting
fantastic.
this. Yeah. When we were shooting this, Daffy had been drinking all day, and he was really hungover. And
he reeked.
I think for me to give you credit for that, it would be kind of like if there was a question about the San Francisco football team and you said they were the 40s. I don't think that would.
No, I agree.
The 40s. The 42s?
Yep, I accept that.
All right. Question 3. The St. Louis Blues were named after a W.C. Handy song called St. Louis Blues. During the 80s and 90s, the Blues were led by one of the all-time great NHL scorers. The only person to score more points in a season was Wayne Gretzky. Who was this player? He played from
I'm locked in.
The mid-80s to the mid-90s, I think, in St. Louis.
My knowledge is limited. I know.
I was into hockey in the late 80s.
Everybody I can think of does not play for the St. Louis Blues. I'm just going to throw a name out there. I know it's wrong. I'm locked in.
I'm punting. I don't know.
Oh,
Ray guy.
Ray guy.
Hang time.
Do a little hang time.
She's a beaut.
Kels, what's your answer?
I wrote down Hull.
You have to be more specific.
I think his name was Bobby.
Okay. Andy?
I punted. It's still hanging up there in the air. You can call for a fair catch if you want.
Davo?
I wrote down Bobby's son, Brett.
Brett Hull. Oh, God.
Oh.
The correct answer was Brett Hull, Bobby's son.
Ah, man.
I think Wayne Gretzky has the record for the 2 top seasons, point scoring seasons, and Brett Hull is third. Okay, question 4. Jack Norworth and Albert von Tilzer wrote one of the most famous sports songs in 1908. What song is that?
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Andy?
Take me out to the ball game.
Davo?
Take me out to the crowd.
Take
me out to the ball game.
Take me out to the ball game. Not like some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, please.
Fun fact.
I don't care if we ever get back.
In fact, they had never seen
because it's root for the Cubbies.
They had never seen a baseball baseball game before they wrote the song.
Really?
Wow.
That's what they said. At the end of round 2, we've got Kels with 50, Davo with 30, and Andy with 20. Okay. Category 3 is television.
Television.
In this musical TV show, Rachel Bloom plays a successful New York City lawyer who moves to West Covina, California to pursue her first love from summer camp. For a bonus, Rachel Bloom had a popular song explaining her admiration for what sci-fi author?
Admiration for a sci-fi author. So many.
And yet there's only one that she wrote a song about.
That's true. It would have helped if I had heard said song.
I
will take a stab at it.
I know you're going to want to listen to it.
I am locked in with a joke and a good guess.
I know the lady. I'm locked in.
Okay, Davo?
I wasn't locked in, sir.
Oh, well, Davo, I'm waiting for you to lock in.
And now I'm locked in.
Okay, Davo.
I think it's My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend as the show. I watched the first season, and she is very, very funny.
Yes.
And the sci-fi author that I totally guessed was Ray Bradbury.
Okay. Andy?
Yeah, I have no idea who this person is. So I went with Babylon 5 as a TV show. And Babylon sank. And For sci-fi authors, yeah, I went with Ray Bradbury. There is only one.
Else?
I went with Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and I just threw Isaac Asimov as my author.
Oh, nice.
Davo, you're
call.
pretty close. I'll give you full credit. It is just Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, not My Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And
Cool.
the sci-fi author in question is indeed Ray Bradbury. I can't say the actual name of the song, but without getting beeped.
Oh, dear.
But you can look it up on YouTube if you look for F Me Ray Bradbury.
Well,
Nice.
he's saying friend me like on Facebook.
Make love to me, Ray Bradbury, is what she's saying.
There you go.
Oh,
Right. Okay.
It's an explicit song.
Snuggle
I'm gonna look
Bunnies
up that
with me,
song.
Ray Bradbury.
The show is really funny. I liked it. I watched the first season. I haven't watched past that, but she's hilarious.
Yeah, they do 4 or 5 original songs in each episode, I think, and they're all pretty
Yes.
funny.
Wow.
So did Kels get the bonus? No, Andy got the
Yeah.
bonus.
And Davo got the question and the bonus.
So Andy got the bonus. Yes. Okay. Yes.
All right, question 2. An all-singing episode in the 6th season of this supernatural-themed show set the standard for musical episodes.
Locked in.
Oh, this is gonna make me
Supernatural
so
thing?
mad.
Yes.
I remember this because I hated it.
I have no idea.
I thought it was the dumbest premise in the history of dumb premises.
You're a
Oh,
big time hater, aren't you?
hater with an H. Yeah. This is bugging me. Everybody needs to be really quiet. I'm almost there.
Wow.
Well done.
Yes. I'll throw that one out there. Did you lose your concentration?
Yes. And I'm losing it again because I'm talking to you, aren't I? I can
See clearly
explain
now
the
the
premise,
radio.
but I can't come up with the song or the show.
Now you don't even know what question to answer. You're all messed up.
Wait a
It's
minute.
Toon Squad, Andy. Toon
All
Squad.
right, I have a solid guess. I'm in. I think this is it's probably wrong.
Kels, what's your answer?
I had no idea. I guess Buffy the Vampire
Andy?
Slayer.
X-Files, but that's wrong. I thought Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but that's wrong
Davo?
too.
So my wife really liked this series, and I had never watched this series. And she said, well, if you're going to watch any of it, you've got to watch these 2 episodes. There's one episode that is silent and really scary. Doug Jones plays a really cool monster that is very terrifying. And the other one is the musical episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh,
The episode
Really?
is called Once More with Feeling, and it is from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I should have gone with my first instinct.
and you went with X-Files.
Didn't X-Files
I'm
have a
thinking of
musical
something
episode?
else though. No, I don't think so. But maybe there. One of the frustrating things about trivia is you get something just right there on the edge. Like I have the vaguest sense of seeing this, and I know it wasn't Buffy, and I know it wasn't X-Files. That's going to bug me for a while.
Angel did a musical episode
They
too.
also did a puppet episode, which was pretty funny.
That was good.
All right, question 3 in television. A patient with head trauma hears speech as singing, including all the doctors of Sacred Heart. The songs include Gonna Miss You, Carla, and Guy Love.
This is what I was thinking of before. I'm locked in.
I'm locked in too.
Oh my gosh, Sacred Heart. I know this hospital. Now, personally, I never went, but Sacred Heart. They gonna help me out.
I
Man.
can't do this on my own. I'm no Superman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talking about giving hints.
It's
Yeah.
only a hint if Kels knows
Only
the
if you
song.
I've never heard this before.
That's the best I could do for you, Kels. I'm sorry.
Well, you're a good man. I'm locked in with the wrong answer.
Davo, what's your answer? As if I didn't know. Kels?
Yeah, Scrubs.
Kels?
I said emergency
And
room.
Andy?
Wow. Holy crap.
It's Scrubs,
That's long
and I
coming.
feel so much better because I swear to God, guys, this is the show I was thinking about with the last question. I kept imagining the character in a hospital bed, and I couldn't come up with the show. And as soon as he started giving the next question, I'm like, there it is. It's Scrubs.
All right, question 4. The musical episode for this sitcom included songs from such bands as The Turtles, the Steve Miller Band, Nazareth, the Carpenters, and Peaches and Herb.
You said the musical
Yeah.
episode?
The sitcom had a musical episode, and those were the songs that they sang during, or those are the bands that they sang.
I'm locked in with a guess.
Yeah, I've got a solid guess just from the artists.
I'm going to regret it, but I'm locked in.
Andy?
I'm guessing that 70s show.
Davo?
I followed the exact logic train that Andy laid out for me. That 70s show.
And Kels?
I also said that 70s show.
All right, that is the correct answer. It was a 70s show. You guys, I was
Nice.
hoping that those bands were enough of a hint, and apparently they were.
So I was thinking back to Scrubs and how good the music was on Scrubs, surprisingly enough.
Mm-hmm.
And who the version of Overkill, the Men at Work song that is played on that show?
Yeah. Colin Hay continues to record albums, and he's one of those rare artists that, I mean, Men at Work is great, but the stuff he's doing now is really pretty amazing. Check out his new stuff. It's pretty cool. And on one of those more recent albums is that song from Scrubs. And yeah, the acoustic version is much more, has a more gravitas to it than the original poppy Men at Work version.
I think it's the superior version myself.
Agreed. Yeah.
All right. At the end of round 3, Kels has 80, Davo has 72, and Andy has 42. All right. Let's get started with category 4, which is movies.
Movies.
Question 1. Although this semi-autobiographical Cameron Crowe movie lost millions at the box office, it was nominated for 4 Oscars, winning Best Screenplay. It won a Grammy for its soundtrack album and 2 Golden Globes for Best Movie and, as a musical or comedy, and for Best Supporting Actress for Kate Hudson. What is the movie?
God.
Locked in. Locked in.
You're double locked in? You're that sure of yourself?
Double locked in. Double locked in.
Oh, what is the name of this crappy movie?
I'm locked in.
Roger Ebert ended up saying it was the best movie of the year and one of the top 10 movies of the 90s. So
Roger Ebert wrote Lair of the White Worm, so he can, you know.
Still a little bitter, huh?
No, I'm angry because I know this movie and I don't remember the name of it. So
I can even name the fictitious band in this movie.
well, Rudy Pooty.
And while he's gone, let me look this up really quickly for you, Dave. The name of the I'm pulling up my iTunes here to give you some albums to look at. All right, Colin Hay. I currently have 175 songs by Colin Hay in my iTunes.
Good gravy.
That's a lot.
All of you do, right?
Totally.
I didn't even know who that was. I'm still not sure who it is. Who is this?
The album you're looking
You've
for
heard
is If you're looking, you need to buy the album Transcendental Highway.
Okay.
It's got the acoustic version of. Oh no, is that not on there? I thought it was.
Colin Hay is the lead singer of Men at Work who sang the song Down Under in the 80s.
Oh, I remember not liking that song because y'all played it in the basement.
But you know what? I'm wrong. The song that's on Scrubs is on an album called Men at Work, but the at is the at sign on the keyboard rather than AT.
Right.
But Transcendental Highway is also a really amazing album that he did in 1998. The Men at Work album is from 2003. But the last album I have of his, American Sunshine, released in 2009.
That was 10 years ago. Is he still doing stuff?
Well, maybe not. I mean,
well, I am punting.
All right, is everybody else locked in?
Yes.
Locked in. I even know the name of the fictitious band if there's a bonus point.
There's not.
I'm locked in.
Cats.
There's not, but you're more than willing to share.
Kels.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
Ray Guy.
Andy?
Look,
The movie is Almost Famous.
Look, the show cannot continue until Kels acknowledges Ray Guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. My apologies, man. I'll let you down. Hang time. It's up there.
Thank you.
That one can hit the top of the stadium.
Excellent.
Okay, Dave votes punting, and Kels says what?
Almost Famous.
The answer is Almost Famous. So the story is apparently Cameron Crowe was a teenage writer for Rolling Stone, and he toured with Poco, the Allman Brothers Band, Led Zeppelin, Eagles, and Leonard Skinner, among some others. And so a lot of the stories in the movie are things that supposedly happened to him or adjacent to him.
Oh my gosh.
All right, question 2 in movies. This movie about a fictional metal band stars Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer. Name the movie, and for a bonus, name the director who also played a significant role in the film.
I have no idea about the bonus, but I'm locked in.
Locked in.
Davo.
The movie is Spinal Tap, and the director is Rob Reiner.
Oh,
okay.
Kels? I guess this is Spinal Tap, but I had no idea about the director.
And Andy.
This is Spinal Tap. The director is Rob Reiner, and 11 is louder.
Yeah.
So
this one goes to 11.
I don't know about Dave's answer, though, because he said Spinal Tap, and the name of the movie is This is Spinal Tap.
I did. That is exactly right. So I am willing to take docking of points for being imprecise.
I will. See, I didn't give Andy any points for his half answer. I feel bad because I think he probably knew it, but you didn't.
I did. I just wrote down Spinal Tap instead of This is Spinal Tap.
But you did get the Rob Reiner, though, right?
Yes. So I at least get 2 points out of something I knew in an instant.
That was premature answering.
It really was.
Yeah.
Think about baseball
Get to
next
watch
time you
that.
answer a question.
Hang time.
Anytime.
All right. Question 3 in movies. For this 1980 film, The Blues Brothers, Dan Aykroyd demanded that 4 jazz, soul, and R&B singers have speaking parts to support their musical numbers. Name 3 of them for half credit or all 4 for full credit.
Ooh, locked in.
Wow, you didn't have time to write them all down.
I mean, I should say before I write them down, but I'm writing them down as fast as I can.
Could you repeat that one more time, please?
Yeah. For the 1980 film The Blues Brothers, Dan Aykroyd demanded that 4 soul, jazz, and R&B singers have speaking parts that supported their musical numbers. Name 3 of them for half credit or all 4 for full credit.
Locked in.
Okay. Kels,
I'm not locked in yet, dude.
Jeez. Too slow.
I'm thinking.
Now, I'm going to be honest. I've only seen this movie once, but I've seen parts of it like several times.
When I was writing this question, I had to go listen to every one of these performances at least 2 or 3 times. It took me about an hour to write this question just because I wanted to keep listening to it.
I mean, it's pretty good.
Now I'm locked in.
Research.
Okay. Kels, what's your answer?
Okay. I went with Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, James Brown, and Cab Calloway.
Andy?
I have Aretha Franklin, Cab Calloway, Ray Charles, James Brown.
And Davo?
Well, I missed Cab Calloway. I have Aretha Franklin, James Brown, and Ray Charles. And I was hung up because I kept wanting to write Ray Bradbury. And I knew that wasn't right.
And I almost got hung up. I almost put down John Lee Hooker, but he just sings. He doesn't actually have a speaking part.
Well, I couldn't think of his name. Otherwise, I would have went with him.
So here's the thing. That's
how
that was a story. Those the correct answer is Aretha, Cab Calloway, Ray Charles, and James Brown. John Lee Hooker was in it, and he did actually say some words at the end of the song. He sang "Boom Boom Boom," and at the end of
the street performer.
Yeah, at the end of it, he said something like, "That's a song that I wrote." And then the guys that he was playing with were actually Muddy Waters band, and they stood up and said, "Oh no, you didn't." And so he did have a speaking part, but it wasn't really there to support his musical number. It was just kind of an aside. So, but here's a nugget: there were a lot of cameos in that movie, including, like we just talked about, John Lee Hooker. Twiggy was in it, who was a model from the 70s. Frank Oz played a corrections officer. Steven Spielberg was the Cook County clerk. Shaka Khan sang in the church choir.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Did you know that Joe Walsh was at the very end of the movie when they do the Jailhouse Rock? The first guy that jumps up on the table to dance was Joe Walsh from the Eagles.
I didn't know that either.
John Landis had a cameo. I forget exactly what he did. He was the director of the movie. And Paul Rubens, who was not yet Pee Wee Herman, was a waiter in the movie also.
I did know that the scene where Belushi leans to the crowd, the family that's really prim and proper, and says, "How much for the little girls?"
Yeah. I want to buy your women.
I've been to the restaurant that's that Aretha Franklin sings in. I had a friend of mine that had researched every single scene of that film in Chicago and gave me this tour of the movie through Chicago.
That's cool.
And the scene where the Nazis go off the ramp in on the freeway, the ramp that's under construction, that was actually the Marquette interchange in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that was currently under construction when the film was made. That's extreme trivia.
Very.
At first, I was going to ask for the names of the guys in the band, but I thought that might be a little bit too esoteric. So,
Donald Duck Dunn. Oh wow, I'm trying to blank all of a sudden.
I would have got
Ray
one.
Bradbury.
And now you ruined it. See, now I can't think.
Well,
Isaac Asimov.
you can look.
That's why we
You can look them up later. Let's move on to question 4. This movie, set in 1966 about a one-hit wonder band, was Tom Hanks' directorial debut.
Oh,
Locked in.
I'm locked in.
Locked in.
Davo?
That Thing You Do.
Kels?
And it hurts me so just to see you go around with someone new. But I can't. Okay, I'm sorry. That Thing You Do.
All right, that is the correct answer. That Thing You Do. Andy.
Oh, I guess I don't get to answer.
Oh, I thought you did already.
Oh, we just presume I'm right, which I am.
I figured you were.
It's That Thing You Do by the Wonders.
The Oneaters.
The Oneaters, right?
Yeah, I actually had already scored you for that one, Andy. I just assumed you knew it.
Thank you.
And you were perfect for that round, which is kind of
Yes.
you doubled your score in that round, actually.
Oh.
I needed to. I was in last place.
Kels was perfect except for the bonus, and Davo. Anyway, so
Played. I participated.
Good try. Good effort.
so that gives us scores at the end of round 4 with Kels with 120 points, Davo with 89, and Andy with 84.
Oh, I thought I took second.
No way. No way.
See, I don't do math. He could just totally make this stuff up, but I wouldn't know. Andy still has 32. Okay.
Sure.
Sure. That makes perfect sense.
All right.
Let's get going with the Beatles category.
Category 5 is venues. So these are famous places that have music concert type things.
Famous place. Song come from.
If Tonto announced the
Yeah.
I'm gonna have. Are you still mad that I didn't give you half credit for that, or?
No, I'm
I think
fine.
he is.
Okay.
I'm totally fine.
He's a little sassy.
It's a little Morton's on that one, a little salty.
Little salt. Just a little salt. Dash.
Question 1 in venues. CBGB's was a famous New York City venue for punk and new wave bands, including Patti Smith, Blondie, The Police. I think the Police played their first U.S. concerts at CBGB's. The Talking Heads, Ramones, the Misfits, the Dead Boys, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, the B-52s, the Cramps, and many, many, many more that kind of earned their chops playing at CBGB's. But the full name of CBGB's reflected what was the original vision for the club. What does CBGB stand for?
I know this one. I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
I'll probably give partial credit if you get part of it for this one.
I'm locked in as well.
Kels, what was your answer?
I had no idea, and I put down can't buy good booze.
Okay. That might have actually been true.
I like that. Yeah.
Davo?
I had no idea, so I wrote down can't bring gremlins back.
And why not?
I know.
It was a good movie. Come on.
So, Andy, you said you know. Could tell us the right answer.
Country, bluegrass, and blues.
Wow.
Initially, the guy that owned it, Hilly, I forget his last name, wanted it to be a country, bluegrass, and blues, and maybe some spoken word stuff. And apparently, nobody in New York in the early '70s wanted to listen to that. And so the only bands he could book were bands like the Ramones and the Dead Boys, who didn't actually know how to play their instruments, but were game to try.
Wow.
It's really a weird thing because when I think bluegrass, I think New York City in the 1970s. So
Totally.
I don't understand how it didn't work.
But technically, the full name of the club was CBGB and OMFUG, which stands for Country, Bluegrass, and Blues, and Other Music for Uplifting Gormandizers. But everybody just kind of leaves off.
I didn't know.
Yeah, if you look at if you see a picture,
I
of the
guess for
banner,
some reason I thought that was a nonsense
No.
word.
it actually stands for something.
Huh.
2 in venues. This concert hall in London has just over 5,000 seats, but annually holds nearly 400 shows, including classical music, ballet, movie premieres, school functions, rock concerts, among others. And for a bonus, guess what decade it was built in?
Locked in, and you were wrong. There was a Beatles question.
I'm locked in too.
I'm locked in.
Andy?
The Royal Albert Hall, built just before World War II. I think it's 1941.
Devo?
I wrote in Blackpool because Royal Albert Hall, which is what I should have thought, was nowhere near my brain. And I wrote down it was built in the 1930s.
And Kels?
I said Royal Albert Hall, and I guess the 50s.
The correct answer is the Royal Albert Hall, and it was built in the 1870s.
Whoa.
Wow.
Really? I
Albert,
realized
makes
it was
sense.
converted to music in the 40s, but it was actually built much earlier.
I think it was damaged in the war,
Wow.
and they rebuilt part of it in the late 40s.
Yeah. And the reason why I know that is in Sgt. Pepper's A Day in the Life, there's a line in the song of, now they know how many holes it takes to fill Royal Albert Hall.
Question 3. This famous performing arts center and UNESCO World Heritage Site was designed by a Danish architect named Jorn Utzon in 1957, who won an international design contest. It was finished 10 years late and 1,300% over budget in 1973.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Really?
It's just a guess. I have no idea.
What? All right. Repeat the question. They clearly got something I didn't get.
This famous performing arts center and UNESCO World Heritage Site was designed by a Danish architect named Jorn Utzon in 1957, who won an international design contest. It was finished 10 years late and 1,300% over budget in 1973.
I got no idea. All right. I got an answer.
Kels, what's your answer?
I guess the Sydney Opera House.
Andy?
The Astrodome. Yeah.
And Davo.
The Astrodome.
The Sydney Opera House.
Correct answer is the Sydney Opera House.
See, I thought about that, but that seemed way too early. 57?
It was designed in 57. And it was supposed to have been finished in like 63. But
I guess I didn't realize that even okay. I had no idea it was the idea of it went that far back. Okay.
I remember hearing it was something of a fiasco. I didn't know it was that big a fiasco.
Yeah. But I think the end result is pretty cool. So
The end result is spectacular.
Yeah.
All right, question 4 in venues. The Ryman Theater in Nashville is the former home of what weekly concert/radio show?
Locked in.
Locked in.
What?
I said.
Uh,
You want to finish? Repeat.
no, you. I heard you. It's just they locked in so fast. Okay. I'm locked in.
Okay, Andy.
The Grand Ole Opry.
Ava.
I went with the King Biscuit Radio
And
Hour.
Kels.
I also said Grand Ole Opry.
It's the longest running radio show that's still being produced, and it's called the Grand Ole Opry.
I didn't know it was still being produced. I honestly thought the Grand Ole Opry was just a place. Like, here is the Grand Ole Opry, like a building.
That's what I thought too.
No, it was at the, I don't know where it was. Originally, it was sponsored by like an insurance company or somebody, and they did it. I think they recorded it in their offices somewhere, and then they kind of
Mutual of Omaha.
Well, no, that would have been in Omaha, not Nashville.
It's Wild Kingdom.
Right.
But then, so they moved it to the Ryman Theater, I think, in the 40s, and it stayed there until the 70s when it started kind of falling apart, and they built a new home for it.
Huh.
So, at the end of round 5, by my count, I've got Kels with 150, Andy with 114, and Davo struggling a little bit with 99. All right. So category 6 is politics. This was suggested by a friend of the show, Jeff.
El Jefe!
And that's the one. I'm sure he loves it every time you do that.
Does he?
I don't know. I haven't asked him.
You should.
Question 1 in politics. This nonprofit is a progressive organization that has partnered with MTV, among others, to, quote, engage and build the political power of young people.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked in.
Kels.
I went with Rock the Vote.
Andy.
Rock the Vote.
And Davo.
Don't rock the vote, baby. Rock the vote.
Oh, see, I almost made that joke. I thought, no, nobody likes that song. I'll just make enemies.
If I could do it again, I would change the question just so that he couldn't do that.
Neil is wiser than all of us.
Well, that is why he is Sensei.
Question 2. Who had a presidential campaign song called Triplicity or Donkey, Moose, and Elephant? That last part was a subtitle.
I'm locked in as well.
Locked in.
Davo?
Teddy Roosevelt.
Else?
I was hoping the moose was a hint, so I went with Teddy Roosevelt as well.
And Andy?
Yeah, I have to admit I don't know the song, but it's Teddy Roosevelt. But now I'm questioning, because of the reference to Democrat, that it might be FDR. But I locked in with Teddy Roosevelt.
So, from what I read, because I had no independent knowledge of this, the 1912 campaign, Taft won the Republican nomination against and was battling Woodrow Wilson on the Democratic side. Teddy Roosevelt really wanted to compete with Taft, and so he started the Bull Moose Party. And someone, I don't know who, wrote a song called Triplicity or Donkey, Moose, and Elephant, expounding on the virtues of Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay.
You know how really old recordings sound kind of creepy?
Yes.
Because the mics are tinny and they had that high vibrato. I bet that song sounds terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
I found a copy. There's a You can look at the sheet music online if you wanted to play it. I suppose.
I'm a drummer. I just hit stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. All right. Question 3 in politics. Despite the objections of the Rolling Stones, what song did Donald Trump use to end most of his campaign rallies?
I know which one I
Okay.
want to go with.
I know which one I want.
All right.
I'm locked in.
totally guessing.
I wish I could enter two.
Well, you could do the parentheses thing that Davo does just to make himself feel better.
Oh, good. I have a parentheses then.
You know, it does work. It does make you feel better.
Okay.
All right. I'm locked in.
Okay. Andy, what's your guess?
My guess is Get Off My Cloud because he's a populist candidate.
He's a what?
A po-
He's a Papadopoulos? He's a what?
No, he was a Democrat. Get Off My Cloud. But in parentheses, I have 19th Nervous Breakdown.
Okay. Davo.
Start Me Up.
Oh, that's a good one. Crap, I should have thought of that.
That would have been a good one to start his rallies.
Well,
Kels.
now I don't want to say. I was teetering between Start Me Up and Satisfaction, but I went with Start Me Up. But in parentheses, I put Sympathy for the Devil.
Nice.
Oh, that's better than 19th Nervous Breakdown. That's so much better.
My in parentheses was Paint It Black.
Well, those are all great guesses. None of them are correct. The correct answer is you can't always get what you want. So I was looking up bands that protested or asked politicians to not use their songs. And the list is really, 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 really long. And so it was really hard. And
with this particular politician or in general?
Well, there are about 6 specifically for him, but there are a bunch for Bush, and probably not surprisingly, I think most rock bands out there are on the liberal side of things, and so they were protesting or they were asking Republicans to not use their songs. I mean, Dole was on the list, and McCain. Hart didn't want Sarah Palin to use Barracuda. So there were so many to choose from.
I had no idea.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
Well, apparently, when she was a hotshot basketball player in high school, her nickname was Sarah Barracuda, and so that's why.
Yeah, that's why that's her. That's why that was her nickname.
At some point, someone shortened it to just Sarah Cuda.
Ooh, Sarah Cuda.
Yeah. And also, it seems mostly I think bands now are basically saying we don't approve of this use of our song, but for the most part, there's really nothing they can do about it. So it's kind of pointless for them to have any kind of legal action.
Essentially, if you play it and it's not televised or sold or anything like that, you can play pretty much whatever you want.
Yeah, but even the campaigns will get a general ASCAP, ASCAP, the publishing license, to play almost anything in the catalog, in the ASCAP catalog. So as long as it's in there, they can play it. All right, question 4 in politics. The song "This Land Is Your Land" has been used by many politicians, both conservative and liberal, throughout the years. Who wrote it?
Locked in.
Wow.
What?
I had a feeling you were going to lock in on that one, Andy.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
So let's start with Kels.
George Clinton.
Davo?
Awesome. Arlo Guthrie.
And Andy, you want to tell him how close he was?
Arlo's dad, Woody Guthrie, and it was written during the yeah. And what's fascinating about the song and why I know is I use it as a lesson plan. We've accepted it now almost along the lines of the national anthem as a very patriotic song, but it was a protest song. It was a song about this land is our land, the people, not the one percenters,
Yes.
corporate America that's taking over.
There were a couple of verses in his original draft of it that had to do with private property and wealth inequality,
Mm-hmm.
and those are conveniently left out in a lot of the more modern versions.
You want to know how close I was to getting that answer, Neil?
Uh,
On my paper, before I started scratching it out, I had written WOO.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, wait, it's his dad. So I got the names mixed up.
Oh, so you thought Arlo was the dad and Woody was the son?
Yes, I got them flipped in my head.
If I had to guess, I would guess that Arlo would be the older gentleman.
Yeah, I agreed. I have to admit, if I wasn't really familiar with them.
Yeah.
Well, that's the last question of our regular rounds. And by my count, the scores are Kels with 170, Andy with 144, and Davo with 119.
Anybody's game.
Well, I mean, technically, yeah.
Oh, my God.
The polite way of saying that is you are mathematically still alive.
That is throwing shade, is what that is.
Man.
All right, I turned over a new sheet of paper here. I'm good to go.
Dash of salt at the sensei. He gives me the seasoned salt back. Lowry's to the face. Lowry's to the face.
All right. So for the final question, I have a list of things. I have a list of that I got it from the New World Encyclopedia. It's the 19 main brass, woodwind, and string instruments from a typical modern orchestra. So I need you to name up to 10 of those for 10 points each.
Brass and woodwind?
And string.
And string. Oh, okay.
So let's start with Davo.
I may have had a bit of an unfair advantage in this because you all, my beloved son Ian, he collects musical instruments and he loves the symphony. So he has talked to me about this many, many times. So I'm going to thank Ian if I get these right. Okay?
What are you going to do if you get them wrong?
I'm gonna apologize to Ian. Violin, viola, tuba, French horn, trumpet, cello, saxophone, oboe, clarinet, and flute.
All right. Okay, Andy, let's have your guesses.
I feel like I also had a bit of an unfair advantage because for a year and a half, I was the publicist for the Kishwaukee Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, my.
And I came up with, and by the way, shout out to the Kishwaukee Symphony Orchestra, trumpet, French horn, trombone, oboe, flute, clarinet, bassoon, violin, viola, and cello.
Okay. And Kels.
Well, to echo my compadres, I felt like I was at a slight advantage because I'm a big fan of the Marley Marl song Symphony.
Kels wins. We're done. Back it up. He wins.
But it's gonna be a lot of the same on these. But I have the violin, cello, trumpet, saxophone, flute, tuba, trombone, clarinet, French horn, and the oboe.
All right. Pretty much all of those answers were correct, except that the list that I had said that the saxophone was occasionally used, but not used.
Ooh.
And so since I,
okay.
means Davo got violin, viola, tuba, French horn, trumpet, cello, oboe, clarinet, and flute. So that's 90 points, bringing you to 209. Andy, you're the only one that didn't say saxophone. And you got you got 100 points on that one, bringing your total to 244. Kels said, I brought tuba down twice for you, but what did you say after tuba, Kels? Right.
Trombone.
Yes, that is one. So you got 90, bringing your score to 260. So the final scores are Kels with 260, Andy with 244, and Davo with 209.
Well, I got to say, congratulations to all of us. I believe this is the first game in the new format where everybody got over 200 points.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
This was a
I hadn't thought of that.
This was a well-played game. Congratulations to Kels. You are now a green belt.
Thank you,
Well
sir.
done, Kels.
Much appreciated.
And thank you for excellent music questions, Sensei Neil.
Wow.
Amazing questions.
Well,
Amazingly hard.
I got to say, Andy, I was a little bit worried about you in the
hard
beginning.
Question.
You scored 20 points in the first 2 rounds, and you managed to make an impressive comeback.
Yeah. Well, who knew there was a science of music?
Apparently not
Take
you.
art to make it a science, but there you go.
Well, thank you very much, Sensei Neil. We now have a belt of every color. Andy, I hope someday you'll reach the heights of orange, and I am looking up to a green belt. Kels, congratulations.
Well done, Kels.
Hey, all you cats and kittens. Like what you hear? Listen to the show on your favorite podcast app. You can also tweet at us, if that's your groove, at Ladle Brain. We're also on Facebook at Brain Ladle Productions. And you can look us up on YouTube. And if you're feeling it, we have a website, brainladletrivia.com. And if you got a little money and you think we're funny, why don't you kick us some, honey, at our Patreon. Peace, love, and soul. Thank you.
So, from all of us here at the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast, this is Davo with Green Belt Kels.
Thanks for playing, people.
Yellow Belt Andy.
So long, Ladle Brainers.
And our Sensei Neil.
As Friedrich Nietzsche said, without music, life would be a mistake.
Right on.
Signing off.
Wow.
The preceding podcast was presented by Brain Ladle Productions. All rights reserved.